All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm. Let me just adjust this. I am recording this video right after my. Well, actually, this video will be coming out first. But I am recording this right after my Dallas Winnipeg series preview video. This is our first Oilers post-game video that I'm doing in the playoffs here on YouTube. I have done post-game videos for every game so far on my TikTok, which is linked in the description. But chances are you're here from the TikTok. Um, yeah, the Oilers with a phenomenal game to open up the series. Obviously, um, you know, they had a rough start, and one of the things I've kind of talked about a lot recently is the Oilers need to be better with their starts. That is crucial for this group moving forward in the playoffs. And I was really nervous at first at the start of the game just because they had a really rough first like 10 minutes or so and allowed 2 goals in the first 10, and wasn't exactly the way you want things to start off. But the Oilers managed to do something they have done quite frequently in this playoff, and that is come back from down in the game. We are the first team in NHL playoff history to overcome 5 straight deficits in 5 comeback wins. Or that was probably the worst way to say that. We are the first team to win 5 straight games, all comebacks in the playoffs, which is actually pretty crazy. Didn't realize that had never been done before, but the number one question is how sustainable is that? Moving forward, if we were to win round 2, is that still something we can do in round 3, and so on, right? Um, so really, my only negative notes for this game is that the first 10 minutes. I thought Edmonton was slow to start. Obviously, the 4-minute penalty on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was kind of unfortunate. I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer, and I'll have some text up on the screen in the event that I was unable to do it. I'm going to try to edit in some video footage. Obviously, my videos here on YouTube have all had different charts and photos that I've put up on the screen. I'm hoping that the same can be done for some clips. I'm going to try to get some clips from the game last night and post them up on the screen. Not necessarily this Nugent-Hopkins penalty I'm talking about, but I want to focus in a bit more on the Connor Brown goalie interference call. And I wanted to throw that one up on the screen for those of you that might have missed it. But yeah, Nugent-Hopkins took a 4-minute double minor for high sticking pretty early on in the game. As I mentioned in my TikTok about the game, I was at first pretty pissed off about this because I didn't think that you were allowed to review penalties that weren't called, but I think the difference with this one was because the player that Nugent-Hopkins high sticked was bleeding, and so because it would have been a double minor had they called it live in the play, they're allowed to review it. I just don't think you're allowed to review minors if you miss them live. So if you miss like a tripping call or a high sticking call where the player isn't bleeding, like minor penalties, you can't go back and review them. But Vegas capitalizes on that power play. They score pretty quickly within the first 2 minutes of it. And then with the way a double minor works is obviously a team scores in the first 2 minutes of the 4 minutes. And then they run the clock down to the 2 minutes left on the power play. So it just becomes a regular power play. And Edmonton managed to kill that one off. I think at around the 9-11 minute mark in the game, maybe, Mark Stone scores to make it 2-0, his second goal of the game. And this was a bit of a break. Like the team kind of fell apart defensively on that play. I'm not going to lie. Corey Perry looking like an absolute fool, sliding around on the ice, going for a block, just not ideal. And it was a bit of a weak goal by Calvin Pickard, who I thought really buckled down after the first couple goals. Though I thought he really responded nicely and closed out the game really well. And then to close off the first period, Corey Perry scores his third goal of the playoffs, assisted by McDavid and Draisaitl. This was a great play by the top line. Corey Perry with great patience to get that one by Adin Hill. And that was kind of when things really turned around for Edmonton. I do think they were playing pretty good in the final 10 minutes of the first period, but that goal with I think it just about 3.5 minutes left really sparked the group. And then the second period came around, and this is where I was starting to get nervous because the Oilers were dominating the second period. They were all over Vegas, and they couldn't score. And I was worried that it was going to be one of those situations where in this post-game video, I was going to be talking to you guys and saying, well, you know, we might have lost the game, but I think we were the better team, and I feel really confident moving forward. I was nervous we were going to get goalied for the third period, but that is not the case, as just 57 seconds in to the third period, Leon Draisaitl ties the game up with his fourth of the playoffs, assisted by McDavid and Bouchard. This was a great play. McDavid with the drop pass to Bouchard. He one-times it. Mark Stone actually deflects it, trying to bat it down. He deflects the puck, and then Adin Hill went to glove it and tipped it down right in front of the net, and Draisaitl batted it in kind of from behind the net. He actually batted it off of Hill and in. So that ties the game, and like I said with the second, this was another a period where Edmonton absolutely dominated this game. And then with just over 3 minutes left, Zach Hyman snipes one off of a great play that started with John Klingberg making a great outlet pass, and then it was Nuge to Kane, and Evander Kane made a phenomenal pass to Zach Hyman to set up this goal. Hyman with the snipe, one of the more skilled goals he's ever scored in his career. And then before Vegas had a chance to even pull their goalie, with just under 2 minutes, Connor Brown undresses Shea Theodore. I might throw the clip up for that one too. Shea Theodore gets undressed. Connor Brown goes in and scores to salt that one away, seal the deal for Edmonton. As I said in my TikTok video, Shea Theodore just another victim of a Connor Brown playoff masterclass. Looking at the goaltending numbers, Calvin Pickard with an .882 save percentage. He had 15 saves on 17 shots against. Edmonton held Vegas to 4 shots on net in the last 40 minutes of the game, which was absolutely wild. Now, with that said, Vegas did have a lot of opportunities where they were shooting it wide, missing the net, so the shot count could have been a lot different, but still really impressive from Edmonton. Adin Hill, an .857 save percentage. He allowed 4 goals on 28 shots for 24 saves. Edmonton was all over it. Looking at the shot count between period to period, they both had 10 shots in the first. Edmonton outshot Vegas 12-1 in the second period, and then they both had 6 shots in the third period. Oh, I guess I'm incorrect. I think the stat that I saw, it was last night right after the game about the 4 shots on net, so I guess they must have redone the shot count, but it looks like Vegas had 7 shots through the last 2 periods, which is still not a lot in comparison to Edmonton's 18 that they had. So really great turnout. Now for the Connor Brown goaltender interference. And we talked a lot in the series preview video from yesterday about how Vegas is the least penalized team in the NHL, and I firmly believe it is because they are Gary Bettman's child. Gary Bettman loves the Vegas Golden Knights. He wants to see them succeed, and if that means not calling the games fairly, that's what it takes. Connor Brown was called for a goalie interference penalty, I believe, right after Edmonton tied the game, I think. I'm pretty sure it was there, because I remember yelling at the TV saying, oh, of course, the NHL needs to even this game up, put Vegas back in front. And I really hope I can get the clip up on screen. If it is on screen, as you can see, Connor Brown is pushed into the goalie by a Vegas player. He was clearly going to skate right by Adin Hill, not interfere with him whatsoever. He is intentionally pushed into Adin Hill by a Vegas defender and gets a goalie interference call. And what makes me the most upset about this call is because a very big controversy from the other night with the Leafs-Panthers Game 1 is the Sam Bennett elbow on Anthony Stolarz, elbowing him in the head and not getting a penalty, and then not facing any supplemental discipline to follow. How you can call a goalie interference on Connor Brown in this instance and not call any sort of penalty on Sam Bennett for a blatant purposeful elbow to the head of a goaltender is absolutely ridiculous and just goes to show the lack of consistency in officiating across the NHL and the reason why so many people complain. Thank God this penalty call didn't end up having any negative repercussions on the Oilers. They killed off the penalty. They gained momentum from that and end up winning the game, obviously. But just the fact that we are sitting here actually talking about that play being a goalie interference is absolutely ridiculous. If in the event I wasn't able to get the video up on screen and you haven't already seen it, go look up on YouTube or Twitter or Google or somewhere the Connor Brown goalie interference from last night and just watch that and ask yourselves if you think that should have been a goaltender interference. Those are all the big notes that I really had from Game 1. Looking forward to Game 2, I don't expect Vegas to roll over and give away their both home games that easily. So I'm expecting Vegas to put together a much better effort. This was, as much as I do think the Oilers can beat Vegas, this was far from Vegas's best efforts. And I do think they're going to come out a lot better in Game 2. I think the top line of Eichel, Karlsson, and Stone, they were the best line, the best players for Vegas, but they still got dominated by McDavid and Draisaitl the pretty much entire game. So Vegas has a lot to work on. I do think they're going to play a lot better in Game 2. The Oilers are going to have to match that and start better. I understand that we love how Edmonton they're the comeback kids. They come back from down in games. They don't give up. They face adversity, all these great things, but I don't mind Edmonton playing with a lead, why not score 2 or 3 goals and open up the scoring and do, why not score these 4 goals that you guys score? Why not do it at the start of the game in the first 2 periods as opposed to the last 2 in an effort to come back, So I would like to see Edmonton start better next game. I'll be curious to see. I guess you continue to ride it out with Pickard considering he got another win. But I do expect to see Stuart Skinner back in net at some point in this series if I had to make a prediction. If you ask me right now, I honestly don't feel overly confident in Edmonton bouncing 2 wins in a row here. I think I'd give the edge to Vegas. It's sort of a 60-40. I feel pretty good about the Oilers' chances to win again, but I do, again, it's that, I feel like Vegas is going to be putting together a much better effort next game as opposed to how they did last night. And, obviously I'll make a video here on YouTube and on TikTok for that game when it's come and gone. It's tomorrow night. Leave your feedback on this, moving forward, what you guys would like to see from these post-game videos moving forward. Like I said, I hope I can get those videos up on the screen. Obviously, you guys by now will know whether or not I was able to. I should be able to. I can't see why I wouldn't. The editing process and all that is still very, very new to me, so I'm trying to piece it all together as we go. But as always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the videos, please leave a like. Leave a comment, your thoughts on Game 1 and what your expectations are for Game 2. And any subscribers would be absolutely phenomenal. It's always appreciated, never needed. And if you're from the TikTok, I really do thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come look at my YouTube channel. That also is very much appreciated. And I will catch you guys in the next one.